Welcome back to Hit Points Gaming. In today's episode, we will be taking a look at a game known as Fight Your Friends, published by Cold War. Fight Your Friends is a customizable dueling card game where two players are going to be creating a crew of team members, up to 10 crew members, that come from different variety of IPs, whether it's comic books, video games, or actually a bunch of IPs that I personally haven't heard about. But I know a lot of my other friends have, which is really sharp about this game. Now we're going to take a few minutes and we're going to dive into the game itself, and I will show you how it's played. Alright, so before jumping into the rules, the one thing I do want to point out is actually the quality of the cards, because this is the only thing that you get in the starter set here. You're obviously going to get the rule book, and then you're going to get 60 different cards that you're going to be able to mix and match really however you want. The one thing I wanted to show you is the back of these cards are really nice. I wonder if you could pick it up. There's like this spider web sheen right here. I thought it was really cool when I picked these cards up. Not many cards do this. It's really just showing the quality that they put into the physical cards themselves. So let's show you an example of some of the cards here. Like as I mentioned, they're from different IPs and comic books. So obviously we know Red Riding Hood is right here. We've got the Bad Wolf, Joan of Arc. What do we got here? The Mothman and Anne Bonny. So a few people that I've heard of in this deck, and then there's a bunch of different ones in here that we can see that I personally don't know about. I know we played this. We brought this to PAX East, a lot of buddies of mine, and we went through this deck and we played multiple times. And I'm going to show you one way that actually changed the style, and we created our own tournament to do this. But there's a lot of people in here that I wasn't aware of, but a lot of my friends were. And what was really sharp about this is at the bottom of the card, it shows you who the creator is, and if you wanted to find out more about the specific character, you have the ability to go ahead and do that. So let's actually take a look here at what makes up one of these characters. So at the top of the card, they're going to have three different stats. You have strength, magic, and defense, right? And those are going to be the stats that you're going to be using when you compete against another character head-to-head, okay? On the rest of your card here, you're going to have your coin value. So at the beginning of the game, I did mention that you're going to need to create a crew of 10 characters. Now, you cannot spend more than 30 gold coins on those characters at the beginning of the game. One of my critiques about the game has to do with that. I will save that at the end for my final review. And then right here is going to be your friendship bonus, which is going to trigger if you're playing in some of the later rounds. We're going to be pairing up with some of your other team members, and that's really where the game's going to shine and how they like piggyback off of each other's powers, and that's where the strategy comes into play. And then you've got your different, stats over here, whether you're a part of like a certain tribe, some of the leadership. There's like three different groupings here, whether you're a council member. Each person has their own, whether it's like a mystic or if you're like a warrior. And those are going to trigger basically with these friendship bonuses. If you're versus somebody, you might get more power or whatnot. So what's going to happen is you're going to create a group of people. And the first thing that you're going to do in round one, it's just a head-to-head. So each player, after they select their group of 10 players, in round one, they're each going to select one fighter to go head-to-head, right? And then you're going to flip those cards over, and then in round one, you're going to compare the stats only, because these friendship bonuses do not come into play right away until round two, and you'll see that after this. So we're going to compare the stats, the attack versus someone's defense. So right here, the Albert the Alien versus Jennifer Crush. Right here, Albert the Alien's going to win. He's got a higher defense than Jennifer's attack value. So he basically gets like 1 point there. They tie here in the middle, so no one gets a point. And then here, Albert defeats Jennifer's defense value. So Albert the Alien's going to win. Now, as you can see, Jennifer was worth 1 point to recruit on the team, while Albert had 3 points. So he cost more, and he won. That's really how it should be. So she gets defeated, she gets set to the side, and now if there were more individuals in the round, they would continue fighting, but since it was just a one-on-one, that's it. Jennifer goes to this player's discard pile, and Albert the Alien's going to go into this player's victory track. Okay, so then you're going to move to round two. In round two, you're going to place down 2 fighters. right? And then after 2 fighters, you're going to go 3, and then 3, then you're going to move to 4. And 4 is going to be the final round, okay? So after every character that moves into the victory point track, you're going to total up the victory points, or the gold coins, at the end, and whoever has the most is the winner. But before moving to my review of it, I wanted to show like how this really starts ramping up. And that's going to be when you're playing with 3 or 4 characters in a round, right? So right here, the first person that you put out does not get this friendship bonus right here, this friendship ticket, okay? But after red does a battle against somebody, right? Red loses. The next person, his ticket power here still doesn't come into play, but OG right here, his ticket power does come into play, right? And after he battles, his ticket power then moves on to the next person. And then the next person. So they're all going to be powering up based on these friendship tickets. And that's really where it comes into play of like, who should I be teaming up? Do I want to throw out my best character during my one-on-one to get victory points? Or do I want to save these powers for at the end? Because some of these cheaper individuals here, let's see if I plan this out correctly. This right here is, they get +2 defense if this friend has less than 4 base coins. So this is going to trigger right here on OG. And then, so he'll basically have 5 defense. And then this is going to move over to the collector during their fight. And I think it's best to just move this character when you're done, whether they're tapped or whatnot. It's easier to remember what the power is. It's going to trigger here because this is less than 2 coins. And then, or less than 4 coins, and then move over here. So they're all going to get these bonuses. So this final person here, who is just a 1, 0, and a 2, is going to be +2, or a plus red here, if they're battling, I think this is a mystic. And then right here, against the mage, if they're fighting a mage, they would get +2. So they could either have 2 or 3 power right here, and then their defense is going to be even stronger. So you're going to be able to turn like a low-level coin value person much stronger in the later rounds. You're going to want to be putting out some of your higher coin people, 4 or 5 coins, maybe in your initial rounds to do battle and gain those victory points. After the end of the 4th battle, as I mentioned, you're going to go back, you're going to tally up all of your characters who were not defeated, who've won their round, add up the victory points, and that's going to be the winner of the game. Alright, so Fight Your Friends, pretty simple game to go through. This is something that we brought, like I said, when a bunch of us went over to PAX East, and we played this throughout the night. The one thing that I will say about this, it doesn't mention how you really draft the teams for the players. And that's good and bad. I would like to have known if there's like a more structured way of doing it. In the beginning, when I was just playing one-on-one, we shuffled the cards and like gave 20 to one player and 20 to another. And the only thing with that is it took a long time in the beginning to draft to figure out like how best do I want to tweak my team and get really good at it, right? That's where some of the downtime could be. It takes a long time to prep your team, and then when the actual battle comes, you know exactly how you want to build it out. And that's where the game really shines, right? Building up your powers, but it takes some time in the beginning. So if there was a way to kind of structure that to reduce the downtime in the beginning, I would have liked that. Now, we kind of solved that issue because we decided to start playing this with 4 players, and we kind of did like a tournament structure. So what we did was we were giving like every player maybe 2 level 5s or 3 level 5 coins and 3 level 4 coins. So there was enough cards in here because there's 60 to give every player the same amount of players with the same value, right? And then from there, I have much more limited options, but I was still able to customize my team. And then we did a battle. Whoever won went and fought the other person, and then we had like an overall champion. And that was cool because we were able to see all the different characters. We were able to see the different powers. We looked at where some of them came from. Some that were like the really best cards that we didn't know who they were. We were able to go online and take a look at that. I thought that was really cool. The games themselves are really quick. Like I said, it's just a deck of cards, some really nice deck of cards here that you can travel around and play with. And, a shout out to all the different artists and the designers for all the different characters on here. I think that's a really cool thing about the game. And then over time, I'm assuming they're going to be putting more and more in here, and you'll be meshing together a lot more IPs using this same simple format. So this is my review of Fight Your Friends. Let me know what you think of the game, and if there's any special characters that you would like to see in this. Maybe they can bring in some more like video game characters and like Sega versus Nintendo and all those types of things I would definitely like to see. So thanks a lot for listening, and we will see you next time.